Hello there. Welcome back to our glorious Byzantine Republic. Hopefully today we can become a republic. We're so close. We just need that 13 or so plutocratic to push us over the line. When we left off, we had just slapped around the Mamluks and liberated the 4 patriarchal seats they were occupying, leaving only one, Rome, the city that was, or will be. So I think we'll prioritize liberating that for now. We're building a spy network on Naples. Once that's online, we'll fabricate a Rome Reconquest CB and march up to Rome. It shouldn't be too difficult. Naples isn't that strong. They are allied with Venice, which is kind of good. I think we'll use it as an opportunity to take the bits of land that Venice has in Greece. Crete as well. Crete's actually quite disloyal. So I think what we'll do is we'll build a spy network on Venice and we'll try and agitate liberty in Crete and then conquer them that way. Since we're going to with Venice though, and Naples, they have quite large navies. I think we're going to spam out a bunch more heavy ships. We really want to buff out our navy, since we're going to need to transport people over to Italy. 20 heavy ships should be enough, I think. They've only got 16. Venice only has 8. We're also going to think more about spreading our maritime presence, something I've been sleeping on a little. So we're going to begin creating maritime presence navies. We'll probably prioritize having around 20 ships per navy, and then we'll spread them around a little to get our maritime presence up in these coastal areas. We're very close now to the age of the discovery, in which we'll get to see who the hegemons of the world are. I doubt we'll be hegemon of anything of note. Maybe military, we do have quite a few soldiers. Alright, there's our CB on Naples available. We've almost got enough spy network to build to create agitate liberty in Crete, so I think we'll wait like a month to get enough. Yep, there we go. We'll agitate liberty. Now we should be able to annex Crete in a separate piece. Let's transport our army over to Italy preemptively. We do like the Neapolitans a little too much, so we're going to insult them. Try and spare our stability. There, we're ready, I think. We'll declare war on Naples. We still like them a little too much, which means we're going to lose quite a bit of stability. Is there anything we could do to make them hate us? I don't think so, unfortunately. Well, actually, let's embargo them. That will make them hate us a little more. For some reason, we embargoed them, and then it immediately wore off, pushing their relationship back over. Oh, well, actually, there we go. It dipped a little. I think we'll use this chance to declare war. Before we do, though, parliamentary issue. Anything that increases plutocracy? Doesn't like we're going to be so lucky. Sad, but oh well. I think we'll use this to call up extra levies, though, just to buff out our chest a little more. Now, let's declare war on Naples, since we're not going to spend as much stability doing so. War has begun. Raise our levies. We're not going to engage immediately with our army here in Italy. In fact, this might have been a poor location. We should be on this side. It'll be safer there, behind the forts. We want to ferry over as much of our army as we can. We're going to leave the sieging and fighting here in Greece to our vassals. They should be able to handle it. There's only the Albanian land to occupy and those few provinces in southern Greece. Maybe our vassals will be able to navally invade Crete as well. We'll have to keep an eye on things. If they don't, we'll just do it ourselves, right? We did manage to land in Crete. It's occupied now. They're very they're not that disloyal, even with agitate liberty. We could always insult or sabotage the relationship they have to push them lower, if need be. We'll try and avoid destroying their army, though. If we just sit on their capital, that should be enough to make them willing to peace out. As I said, we don't do too much damage to them and make them feel like, actually, they love Venice. I think we've got enough of our armies over in Italy now that we should be able to crush the Neapolitans. They only have, what, 30,000 men? Well, we also have around 30,000 men, so should be simple. Yep, there goes their army there. Problem, of course, is going to be the forts. I guess we'll just start sieging. Ooh, well, actually, there's the majority of their army. Let's see if we can't wipe them out. They are on a hill, though, so maybe an inadvantageous position. Yep, this was definitely an inadvantageous position. Let's pull back. That's going to cost us a bit of war score. My eternal desire to just rush in and kill everyone once again rears its ugly head. Luckily, we do have reinforcements if need be. We'll continue ferrying our guys over the sea. We'll be able to separate piece Crete in May of next year. So once that's done, I think we'll just full annex them. Do we actually want any land from the Venetians? As discussed, we want their land in Greece. So these few little island locations. Do we want anything more? They do have Ragusa as a vassal. Maybe we should annex Ragusa. Ragusa has a lot of soldiers, all mercenaries though. The AI tends to hire hundreds of thousands of mercenaries in this current version though, so it's not unsurprising. The Neapolitans are kind of trying to shark around, grab our siegers. There they are. That's kind of good though. I'm fine with these siegers getting killed. They're just levies and our vassals. If we can catch the Neapolitan army though, it'll be well worth it. There we go. Ragusa's actually hired 20,000 mercenaries. As I said, the AI really loves to hire them in this version. It does put a thorn into our war in Greece though, because I doubt our vassals will be able to handle 20,000 mercenaries. So we may need to intervene. To be fair, once we make peace with Venice, Ragusa will of course leave the war, as they're only a vassal, right? Ooh, Crete has become a bit loyal. It looks like one of our vassals destroyed their army. They've reconsidered their loyalty to Venice. If they can drop just below 54, we can sabotage relationships to get them to peace out. So we're just going to keep a little eye on the number for now. Yep, there we go. Crete's loyalty has fluctuated, so we'll annex them completely. Always good to see Crete back under Roman control. Wow, the Neapolitans really did a number on us back there. It was a mistake on my part to split up my army. These sieges are taking so long though, it's making me antsy. We could just peace out Venice right now actually, we can get all of the islands from them. I was thinking we should grab Ragusa, but they have 23,000 mercs. We'd have to transport our army back from Italy to deal with them, and unfortunately we can't demand them because we haven't occupied the place. So I guess we'll just take the southern provinces from Venice. We'll have them return these 2 locations to Croatia. They shouldn't have them. Maybe we should get them to release Ragusa. Could we? It's going to be a little too expensive. If we didn't take their land in Greece, we still couldn't do it. Oh well. We'll grab Ragusa at a later date then. Make sure to get all those islands. And then I guess we'll take some money. That's them out of there. Now there's only Naples. Although, was there someone else there? Oh yeah, there's Albania. Oh, I almost forgot about them. We really just need to nab the Neapolitan army when they're out of position. So I think we're going to prioritize doing that. We'll see if we can't get them to siege our forts and then destroy them, instead of going and sieging their hill forts and getting caught by them. It's probably a smarter thing to do. There, we've finally broken through this line of forts so we can reach Naples itself. What do we want from this war? Well, obviously we want Rome. Before I forget actually, there's a few Hellenic holy sites. It looks like 1 is controlled by the Papal State here, and 3 are controlled by Naples. There's no other ones, is there? No. So we need to make sure we grab that. And then I think we'll just snake up. Let's take all of the land in provinces we're currently occupying. Oh yeah, we want Albania as well. We just need our vassals to finish sieging it down. And then I think we'll take Naples, if we can, of course. We'll have to see what the numbers look like. Here's the Age of Discovery. As always, I think we're just going to grab administration. It's just hard to resist. That pop conversion speed plus 10 is going to be very useful. And since we don't really plan to do any colonizing or exploring really, I mean maybe in the later game we'll explore just to see what the new world looks like. But yeah, we'll go admin. There's Albania occupied by our vassals. Let's start preemptively increasing relationships with people in Europe who may take offense to this. There's what's left of the Neapolitan army rearing their ugly head. Let's see if we can't just nab them. Although it looks like they're the ones who might nab us here. No, we won. They vanished though. There's only 4,000 of them left though, so... there they are. They're going on the offense again. I guess maybe we could just trap them there in southern Italy, if they're just going to head down. Looks like they're trying to board their ships. Let's kill them. Oh, the printing press has spawned. I forgot to check how likely these things were, but the printing press has spawned in Constantinople. That's nice. That gives us the permanent birthplace of the printing press modifier in Constantinople. But yes, let's check now. What are the likelihoods of the other ones spawning? We've got pike and shot. First of all, priority-wise is of course Cairo, and then Alexandria, then Naples, then Constantinople, then Paris. There's a chance it'll spawn in one of our controlled places. New World, of course New World's not going to spawn anywhere relevant, just Iberia, so we don't need to think about that, I don't think. Finally we've taken Naples. So what are we looking at here? It wouldn't be too expensive to take all of this. We could take a bit more. We could go for something like this, just really reduce Naples down. It would offend some people, obviously, but it doesn't look too bad to me. We'll need to do a bit more fighting and occupying. The problem is the Neapolitan army is just hiding behind their forts, so we can't jump out and grab them. but they keep grabbing our vassals when they lay siege to their forts. There's pike and shot spawned over in Hungary, not too far. We might be able to get it for ourselves. For some reason, the New World has spawned in Naples, though. Well, alright, I guess. Naples is about to fall under our glorious control, so I suppose that means we'll have another institution. Speaking of which, the Neapolitans have had enough. We'll make peace, we'll take most of their nation. The seat of Rome has been restored. Excellent, giving us access to the Mend the Schism action and the Restore Roman Primacy action. In fact, we could form Rome right now. Let's think about that, but before we do, let's see about Mending the Schism. There's no real reason to delay, I don't think, so we'll just do it right now. We'll get the permanent Mended the Schism modifier with a bunch of bonuses. This modifier will persist even if we stop being Orthodox, so not much reason not to grab it. Before we do press the button though, let's switch over to the religious map mode so we have a nice view of Europe. We'll now mend the schism. There is but one Christian church. Now if we wait a few days, we should see some people flip. Yep. It looks like Poland, Hungary have both flipped. Anyone else? Doesn't like it. Just looks like Poland and Hungary and a few Polish vassals. It looks like Naples as well has also flipped. That's rather funny. I suppose they have no choice but to acknowledge our supremacy. Let's wait until the end of the month just to be sure. Yeah, it doesn't like anyone else is going to flip. That's too bad. We have of course reclaimed Rome though. The city where it all began is back in our hands. Now, do we want to form Rome right now? I'm still a little scared of forming Rome because we might lose all our events. To be fair though, are there any events we want to get? We want to get this Roman Orthodoxy restored one, just because it will weaken Catholicism. There's also the Drive the Turks from Anatolia one. The only reason we haven't got this one is because we have some Turkish paranoia around. There's also the Restore Anatolian Regional Cities. I'm actually holding off on doing this one until we become Latin, because it will convert 10% of our Roman pop in Anatolia in towns or cities to our culture. So if we become Latin, then press it, 10% of all the Turks in the towns and cities will just convert to Latin straight up. I mean, I guess we don't need to wait, right? We could just do it and have them convert to Greek. Maybe I'm hesitating a little too much on this. The only thing we need to do is take the bit of Anatolia that Georgia has. Are there any other events? There's this Restoring the Varangian event, which isn't very good. Not really anything crazy event-wise. So we could form Rome without much issue there. Let's actually check achievements. This achievement looks fine because we can get it when we were playing Byzantium. This one here requires us to play as Rome, so it's irrelevant. This one here requires us to currently or were playing Byzantium. This one here doesn't even require us to play Byzantium, we just need 6 eunuchs. This one here doesn't require us to be anyone, we just need legionaries, so that's doable. So yes, I don't think there's any problem with us converting over. There is one thing though. When we become Rome, our capital will become Rome, which will basically destroy our economy, because it means all of our local governors will suddenly be cut off from Rome, and they'll all just despawn, which isn't good, obviously, and I haven't got the naval governors yet. I always dislike having to go naval to grab the naval governors, so I've been putting it off, which of course, as you can see, is coming to bite me. But there's also the fact that becoming Rome will push our Latin score up by 33%. What I really wanted to do was get our Latin score as high as possible, then become Rome, maybe even pushing us over the 0 line. The reason I've kept our Roman score so high is because we need a high Roman or Latin score to revive Hellenicism. So I'm purposely keeping it at this point in events for that reason alone. As you can see here, it's supposed to only be at 60. It's a bit of a hard choice. I feel like just becoming Rome, becoming Rome's cool. Becoming Rome will also give us a bunch of really good advancements. But are they? I guess the proximity cost through roads is what we really want, but that doesn't even happen until the next age. I guess we do get buffs for the aqueducts, but we already have access to aqueducts. We do gain the option to increase their level by 1 though. Speaking of which, we should have 2 aqueducts now because we have the one in Rome and the one in Byzantium. Unless the Rome one isn't built. Let me just check. Yes, the one in Rome is built. Do they only provide legitimacy if they're in the capital? No? Maybe it just hasn't checked to make sure that it provides the legitimacy? Who cares? But I'm leaning towards not becoming Rome right now. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe we should just do it. Nah, I think we'll leave it. We don't need to become Rome right now, right? Wait a minute. The Nepalese are the military hegemony. I'm not sure I agree with that. But who am I? Who am I to say that that's not correct? But yes, before we do anything else, let's release a bunch of pronoia in this occupied Nepalese territory. We'll just keep Rome for ourselves for now. One thing we could do is just march, cut through Hungary and then through Italy to connect Rome to the rest of the empire. That way we wouldn't lose the local governors when we move our capital to Rome. Our truce with the Egyptians still lasts another 10 years, so we don't need to worry about going to war with them. So we could attack Hungary. Nothing really stopping us, right? Let's focus on reducing our antagonism a bit before we start drawing up plans for an invasion of Hungary. Taking a bunch of Hungarian land would definitely push us into coalition city. Another parliament, another no access to things that increase plutocracy. I was really thinking we'd be able to do it much earlier. We've just been very unlucky with the events, I guess. We just haven't got the event that triggers quite often, I find. It just hasn't showed up for us this time around. Alright, I feel like we've dealt with the antagonism a bit. Should we go to war with Hungary right? Well, not right now. We'd need to fabricate a CB, but that would be pretty fast. Our truce with the Egyptians ends in 6 years. Could we squeeze in a little Hungarian war that we get done within 6 years? Probably. It's whether it's better to continue to let our levies replenish in preparation with that war with Egypt. They're still very strong, right? I think actually we're going to hold off on going to war with Hungary and focus on the Egyptians. Let's move our army back to Constantinople and then we're going to double it in size, I think. Since they did fix the Varangian bug, they no longer show up at the max level. We could recruit some Varangians, I guess, but we're not going to. We're going to recruit 10 men-at-arms, I think. We're not going to be able to do it all at once, obviously, because it costs money. But our goal is to get to 20,000 men. Would that let us become the military hegemony, actually? It should do. We'll be surpassing France by quite a bit by doing it. And that will help us when it comes to facing the Egyptians, hopefully for the final time. They do have one more Hellenicist site we need to take from them. I believe it's in this province here. Yes, this location is a holy site for Hellenicism, so we need to take that. And we'd also just like to destroy them, right? We'll probably make taking Cairo our priority, since that's where they get a large portion of their army from, and taking it will essentially destroy their control. I mean, they're barely a country if you look at them. So once we take Cairo, they're not really going to have much left. We'll have to see how the war goes, though. We shouldn't get too cocky before we've even started. Another parliament, please give me... Nope, it didn't give me what I wanted. Suppose we could go for this. Support the university, though. It's nice. Increases the research rate. Will we ever get to become a republic? Surely, eventually, it has to give me one of those events that increases plutocracy, or it has to give me an option, a parliamentary agenda that increases plutocracy. It's almost as if the game's bullying me a little, withholding my plutocracy, withholding my glorious republic. On an unrelated note, I forgot to revoke this consolidated corruption of the wealthy, and that's damaging our economy. I think we're going to revoke it now. I've kind of stacked as much revocation as I can. We've actually got it to half price. It's going to do a number on us. Going to set us back to around minus 50 stability, but minus 50 stability is barely anything. We've come back from worse. It's almost time for our war with the Mamluks. We have our 20,000 men now. The main problem will be keeping them supplied as they take casualties. If worse comes to worse, we can always hire mercenaries though. We've managed to cool the relationships with a lot of the nations in Italy though. I am dreading going to war with the Pope. He has what will likely be the last Hellenic seat under his control, and we'll need to, of course, take that off him. But he's allied with France, so it means a French war. He's also allied with Aragon, but, you know, Aragon, who cares? France is the one that we're concerned about. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll deal with the much weaker and easy to deal with Mamluks first, and then we'll probably invade Hungary and begin snaking our way around into Italy. Ah, there goes our emperor. 9 days or so before we go to war with Egypt, we have a new emperor. He's quite a bit better when it comes to mill. Hopefully that will help us deal with the Egyptians. Speaking of which, it's time. We'll use our Restore Roman Borders CB. Supposedly we're very close to being of equal strength. Let's not beat around the bush, let's just be on with it. When it comes to navy, we should just be able to crush them totally. We'll gather our forces in Constantinople though before we head out. Alright, the boys are gathered. We'll split our forces into two, I think. Now let's head to the front. What we'll likely try and do is nab as many of the Mamluk armies as we can while they're sieging forts. Since they do outnumber us, we need to really thin their numbers. They don't really have many regulars though, so we don't need to be too concerned about that. If we can just slaughter their levies, they shouldn't be able to oppose us. Well, there's 65,000 or so men dead. Feeling pretty good. There's 30,000 there, 13,000 there, 13,000 here. They have about 80,000. So we're missing a few. I guess there's 18,000 here as well, but I'm feeling fine. Wait a minute. Ooh, I think they annexed our vassal here. I'm pretty sure this was under our control. Our vassal must have become disloyal. We do have quite a few of them at the moment, which is making them feel a little rebellious. But yes, I think that land was annexed. I definitely recall it being under our control. Well, that's an annoyance. At least, you know, we'll take it back in the war. Before we continue, actually, let's think about what we want. Something like this, plus Cairo, I think. There's also something to be said for expanding over here, giving us access to North Africa. We'll see how that goes though. And now let's keep marching in and snapping up these armies that are sieging. Oh, apparently we lost that. What was in this army? This was their regulars. I still feel like we shouldn't have lost that though. I guess we're pulling back. I'll have to fight more carefully than I was. New parliament, still not getting the thing that increases plutocracy. Too bad. I think we'll use this chance to call up additional levies though. Since we lost that fight, we're a bit down on the numbers, and we're going to need more than 28,000 to beat the Mamluks, I think. So we're going to disband our levies and immediately call them up again. The Mamluks are actually going on the offense against us. I'm not sure if I agree with their ideas, but they're trying it. So I guess we'll meet them, just send them off. There's another group there that was following. They're pretty much at zero morale. We should be able to just immediately stack wipe. Yep, there they go. Thank you, Mamluks. I'm guessing they were just trying to bypass the forts that we have here by heading around this way, but perhaps they underestimated us. Ooh, this group of this group of regulars has managed to slip around, is going for our reinforcement line. These are their regulars though. If we wipe them out, the war should be a bygone conclusion, surely. They managed to catch them and wipe them out. Perfect. Oh, well, actually, they're not wiped out. They're just retreating. That's too bad. I was hoping we could eliminate them. Oh, looks like we did eliminate them. Yep, there they are. We'll keep these regulars captive then. We'll likely sell them back to the Mamluks just before we make peace. All right, they have 39,000 levies left. In fact, that 20,000 there looks like most of them. Hopefully the fort can survive until we reach it, and then we should be able to jump them while they're sieging. Yep, perfect. Throw them away. They've still got their army sieging Alexandria. That's 8,000 men. They have 25,000 plus 3,000 regulars. Are any of these regulars? No. Oh, well, they have 72 supply carts. So wherever their last regulars are, we simply aren't aware. Aha, this looks like them. Maybe we can trap them here and force them to go north since they're heading to liberate that location we're occupying. If they would go further north, they'd be trapped between our forts. Though it looks like enemy reinforcements are coming up from behind. Let's deal with these guys. That 13,000 should still be trapped on that location. We could attack them. It's a bit risky though. It is a hill. Should we just try it? I don't really want to take a defeat in this situation, but I think we're going to try it. No reason not to get cocky. There they are. You know, it'd be nice if those 3,000 men just sat next to us, decide to help, but it doesn't like they're going to. Doesn't like we'll need them though. Yep, there they go. We end up taking more casualties than we dealt, but a win's a win. They've fled all the way up here. This could be excellent. Since there's no way really back to Mamluk territory, we should be able to catch them and fully eliminate them. No, they're still running. Ah, there we go. That's them eliminated. Mamluks now only have 10,000 levies and 7,000 regulars left. Now we're going to have to engage in perhaps the hardest part of the war. Ooh, there's 11,000 of them. That looks like it's, well, actually, it's actually the regulars of one of their vassals, and then levies of the Mamluks behind. If they're going to attack, we should be able to beat them. Yep, they just charged right into us. At least that was one group. And there's the second one. And there's the third one. All them defeated, but the Mamluks have gathered more troops here now. Looks like this is their entire army. Yep. I'm not sure we want to attack into them, especially since they're on a hill. I mean, we do vastly outnumber them, but they are the Mamluks, which means they have high quality soldiers and armies. If they would attack into us, that would be excellent, but they don't seem willing to do so. Let's pull back a bit. We really need them to march north so that we can fight them on a advantageous position. Looks like they're trying it. We'll do what we did last time. We'll go and occupy the province behind them and try and trap them here. Force them to attack into us or be trapped. Ooh, they did attack into us. It's actually going to be close. There's just one of their flanks left. This is a pretty heavy battle for both of us, but it looks like it's going to be our win. Excellent. We barely have an army left now, though. Let's call up some of the replenished levies. I didn't actually bring over the troops from Italy, just because of how tedious it is, so we can bring them over and they can strengthen our army. Although it looks like the Mamluks have done the same thing. They still have 12,000 soldiers. Maybe we should hire some mercs in this situation. Just give us something to flatten them with. There, we'll hire 10,000 mercenaries. Should be more than enough to bulk out our army. In order to reach Cairo, we're going to need to siege through quite a few forts though, so it might take a little while. Let's focus on liberating Jerusalem first of all. Ooh, well, the Mamluks attacked us and defeated our mercenaries. They must be replenishing their manpower very fast. Well, yeah, they do have 12,000, so they're able to replenish their regulars quite quickly. And the Mamluks have those large cavalry armies, which we don't. And we should probably consider getting buff out our armies with some cataphracts. Looks like they're going on the offensive again, though. This is perfect. If they head on to this fort here, or no, looks like they came here, said, well, actually, and left. We're still waiting for all of our numbers to accumulate, though. In fact, let's pull back off the front line. If only because it might coax the Mamluks into moving forward and sieging. Our presence here might be too much for them. Well, the problem is our vassals keep running in and getting themselves killed. Let's actually tell them to all go on the defensive. Well, actually, they lost that battle. They're retreating into the enemy, though. For some reason, our vassals insist on just throwing themselves at the... Well, I guess they did win that one. Maybe I'm being a little too rude to our vassals. We've gathered our army up. Thing is, we don't know where the Mamluks are, though. Where they're deployed. And we can't see onto the coast. Well, actually, there they are. They've jumped out. Where are they going? They're heading onto the fort. This could be perfect. Should we attack them here? According to the game, we'll lose. And honestly, I kind of don't doubt it. They have a lot of regulars. But we also have a lot of regulars. We only have 2,000 though. But then we have 7,000 mercenary and regular heavy infantry. They only have 3,000 or so heavy infantry, but they do have a lot of heavy cavalry, as well as some light cavalry regulars. Maybe we should just make peace now. We won't be able to take Cairo because we haven't occupied it, but we can take most of the northern parts of Egypt, which is all pretty valuable land. It would definitely go ways to destroying the Mamluks. We could also take the single province they have that's got the Hellenic holy site in. I guess we could also grab a bit of land from their vassals. Or I guess we can attack them and try it all. Let's actually stand where we are for the moment. They might... Do they have food access? Yeah, they have food access through their vassals, unfortunately. So we can't fully cut them off. What if we tell our vassals to all attach to us? Also, how good's their general? He's a 65, 76, 89. He has a good trait as well, which increases his commanding bonus. Our general, on the other hand, he's better, but his trade isn't as good. He's still the best we've got, though. I guess we could just wait and see if they take attrition from the siege. And if it looks like they're going to take the siege, we could just make peace. Ooh, well, actually, it looks like some reinforcements are trying to slip in. Let's grab them, not let them reinforce. You know what? I think we're just going to make peace. Let's ransom off everyone who we have captive. Then, as discussed, we'll grab northern Egypt, grab this little bit of land that we have, that our vassal also has access to. It's too bad we didn't manage to get over here and occupy these guys, or we'd have access to Tunis, but it is what it is. Anything else we could grab? Ooh. We could grab this province, but we'd need a little bit more war score. If we walk over here and occupy this location, that might be enough war score. Ooh, well, actually, the Mamluks have sensed blood. I guess we'll make peace. Oh, but we're so close. You just need one war score. We're going to take this location in 9 days. How long is it going to take them to get to us? 2 days to get here, and then probably less than 2 days to get further in. Well, I guess we could just not take this bit of land, right? It has got a fort in though, but if we take this land here, we'll kind of... The main idea I want to take this is because it would cut the Mamluks fully off from their northern states. In another war, they'd have to siege through this land to get up here. But this land does have a fort, and I think it's better to take this land. We'll take some money from them as well. We definitely didn't shower ourselves in glory in that one. But a win's a win, right? We'll immediately Pranoia up a lot of this land. Our Pranoia here should be quite wealthy and powerful due to the high population and money in northern Egypt. We of course still have those mercenaries we hired. We could fire them, but maybe we should keep them around. We'll need to let our levies replenish, of course, but I'm thinking we go for Hungary now. Although we do control all of the Hellenic holy sites now, bar one. We just need that one that the Pope has. But as we talked about last time, he's allied with France. We could try and fight a very quick war, since it's only this single location that we need. We could try and fight a very quick war and just take that single location. We might be able to do it. Oh, there goes our emperor, a very short-lived emperor. Hopefully his successor can live a bit longer. Ooh, France has actually surpassed us as the military hegemony. That's not great. After all, it's going to make our war with the Papal State even harder than it might already have been. With that in mind, maybe we should hold off going to war with the Pope a little longer, instead going for Hungary. We could also wait for France to get into war themselves. Actually, they're actually lost a lot of levies. Did they just come out of a war? I suppose, yes, they have a truce with Austria. It could have been it looks like they were just in a coalition war. It's too bad we were busy with the Mamluks. We might have actually been able to attack the Pope without France intervening, though it's of course unlikely. We definitely missed our chance there, I guess, to swoop down on the Pope and take that one location we need. Alright, we have a CB on Hungary. I think we're going to expand into their land, although they like us a little too much, so let's insult them, as we always tend to. They are allied with Poland, but I'm not too concerned about them. The Polish are the Polish after all. Maybe there'll be an issue. They'll have to march through all of Hungary to get to us though, so we might be able to just deal with them once they arrive. We'll declare war, call up the levies. We'll probably play defensively to start with, and once we've dealt with the enemy armies, then we'll go on the offense. Alright, the Hungarians and Polish have actually gathered into very large clumps. I suppose they'll be taking a lot of attrition there. The problem will be once they actually take that siege and go elsewhere. Well, they are splitting up a bit. Maybe let's go for this stack over here. They're the ones who's closest to finishing their siege. What is this army made up of? Quite a lot of mercenaries actually, and then just levies from Hungary. This guy's the one who's hired the mercenaries. How many has he hired overall? Around 10,000? So I guess we'll assume this 13,000 is all of them. Surely we can defeat them. Yep. It looks like the enemy are about to jump on us though. This should be fine actually. Let them jump. There we go. We'll pull back behind the forts. We'll likely just keep jumping out and grabbing people when they're in weak positions until we've dealt enough damage. Although it looks like the AI's gone a little wise and positioned their armies in a... well, now they're pulling back. Parliament, please give me... nope, doesn't look like it's going to give me the plutocracy I need. Let's go with the noble garrison law actually while we're doing this. At the very least, the attrition will damage the invaders. Since they've abandoned this army a little bit, let's jump out and grab him. There they go. We'll likely just wipe peace Poland the moment they no longer want to keep fighting. It's not like we're going to be able to go up and occupy them, right? We're not fighting through all of Hungary to get to them. And with the Polish gone, I doubt Hungary will be able to put up much of a fight. Let's go over here and grab these levies. We'll leave the regulars, let them be thinned out by the attrition. There's a Polish army here coming around. These are regulars though. It looks like we're gonna end up fighting them either way. I was thinking maybe we should avoid it, but nope, we dealt with them. There's also a group here. They're up on a mountain though, so we don't want to really attack them there. Oh, we actually stack wipe. No, not quite. These Polish doesn't look like they have anywhere to retreat to. Can we full stack wipe them? Nah, looks like they're retreating to safety now. That's too bad. We were ping-ponging them for a second. These guys up here are the mercenaries. Although there's not that many of them. They're actually mainly Hungarian levies, so it wouldn't be that bad fighting them. In fact, the Hungarians are abandoning the fight. So let's grab these mercenaries then. Just remove them from the field. Over here though, we've got quite a few regulars. Although I keep saying quite a few and then I look and it's actually mainly levies. I'm just assuming everyone else has hundreds of thousands of regulars because I do. Well, not hundreds of thousands, but you know what I mean. It's like the Polish have come back. Look like it's their regular army this time. Fortunately, our vassals are just throwing themselves into them. They are taking attrition though. If they could just... well, they're coming south now. I don't think we're going to make it in time. Yeah, we didn't make it in time to garrison that location, unfortunately. We don't really want to fight them on these mountainous locations, right? We need to lure them into a position where we can actually fight comfortably. They are taking attrition, though, from the garrison law. Problem is, this land up here isn't controlled by us, it's controlled by vassals, so they won't get attrition in it. Because they're not applicable for the garrison law, because it's not our land, right? Which is a pity. We'd love to kill these guys without actually having to fight them. I might be being too cautious now after fighting the Mamluks in all those wars. We can almost definitely beat these guys. Yep, there we go. Send them back. They're actually attacking us. This is pretty great. How close? The Polish aren't that close to piecing out, but let's just take a few fights. Nope, they're pulling back. I guess they saw that we were a tad too strong. We'll wait for winter to end. and then we'll go and grab this Hungarian stack, I think. We don't really want to take attrition marching through our own territory. Oh, the Polish have had enough. I guess we'll send them off then. That should make things pretty easy now, with just the Hungarians, the Croatians, and these guys here. How close are they to saying they want peace? Not very close. They have quite high war enthusiasm. We probably just need to do more damage to them. Speaking of damage, let's go up and... Well, actually, apparently we're going to lose. Oh, we don't have a commander. Where'd he go? He must have died without me noticing. Still going to lose, though, apparently. Their armies are better quality than ours. We're really lacking in the cavalry side of things. I think we're going to start expanding our army with cataphracts after this war's over. I guess we could try and cut off the Hungarian supplies. Ooh, they didn't like that. They're going to attack us, but apparently we're going to win now. Let's see, I guess. Yeah, we won. Okay. I'm not sure I can trust the you're going to win, you're going to lose thing. It does scare me, though, when I see that you're going to lose. And I don't like being scared. If the Hungarians pulled back to the point where we could start occupying their land, it may well be so. What do they have left? They've got around 6,000 regulars and then 10,000 levies. They do have a bit of manpower, so they can replenish their regulars, unlike us. We definitely need to build more armories. Let's see if we can't wipe out these guys and force them to the table. Yep, there we go. That was enough to blow them away. So there's just the Hungarians left now, and I guess the Croatians. It does look like the Hungarians have hired a bunch of mercenaries, though, so we'll need to be wary of that. But speaking of being wary of that, I think we just wandered into them. Well, perhaps not. This looks like nearly pure levies and regulars, but still, our numbers are down. We're likely going to lose this, and we can't even retreat. Nope, there we go. They completely eradicated our regulars. They have taken them hostage, though, so they may free them or ransom them back to us. Still a pretty big blunder on my part. I guess we'll call up our own mercenaries then. In fact, before we do this, let's hand out that privilege. Feudal mercenary contracts, just to reduce the price of mercenaries a little bit. We've already reduced it by 20% due to the mercenary recruitment research. Now let's hire these Wallachian mercenaries. Will they be able to win them on their own? Unlikely. I guess they can give it a good try. There's some of the mercenaries heading over. Let's just try and grab these regulars then. We might be able to free our regulars that are still alive and are captive. Perhaps not. They fled north. They flee now, regulars, don't they, when they're captured, instead of just hanging around with the army that beat them. So I guess not. Deal with the Croatians as well. So what do we want from this war? I was thinking we just take a lot of the land in the Balkans. Maybe not this much. Something like this, plus Croatia. We'll need to siege down Croatia's capital, though, of course. There's the Hungarian army. Is that all of them? No, they're missing 10,000. Could we defeat them? I'm not sure. Let's go and have a look at... Ooh, now they're going on the offense to meet us. Apparently we will beat them, though. It seems not. The game lied to me. See, I knew I can't trust those you'll win or you'll lose things. Should we jump out and grab them here? They do have more heavy cavalry than us. That's probably the problem. We outnumber them when it comes to our heavy infantry, though. In fact, we've even got the next age of infantry. Well, they're still using man-at-arms, so let's try it. Yes, we won. I guess it's just all about terrain, isn't it? Was that a stack wipe, actually? I think it was. I don't see their soldiers still being listed, so I think it was. I guess it's time to start sieging things down. The worst part of any war. Oh wait, now there they are. So they weren't eradicated. Ooh, but they came back and attacked us and won. Is this just going to be a big... Well, actually, we could make peace right now. I was going to say, is this just going to be a back and forth? But we could make peace right now and take large portions of their nation. How would that do us on the antagonism? Hungary, of course, won't like it. Neither will Croatia. But I don't think we care about them. They're not going to like it no matter what we do. We could take a bit more all the way up here. We won't take any land from Croatia, obviously, because we can't full annex them, so... I'd rather not bother. I guess we'll take this. We'll take some money. At the very least, that will force them to give back what's left of our regulars. I would dismiss the mercenaries, but it's going to cost a pretty penny to dismiss them. So I guess we'll keep them around. What to do with this land? Of course, we'll hand it out to Pranoia. Our Pranoia have gotten a bit rebellious at the moment because there's so many of them. Luckily, our diplomatic reputation is so high that they're not going to form independence movements. And as always, when they die, we will just inherit most of them. Well, the reasons they're unhappy is because I've been integrating some of them, and they've taken offense to that. I was planning to switch over and grab the fixed vassals obligation reform in order to keep my Pranoia happy, but we just haven't been able to switch over to become a republic. We just haven't got any of the events. I guess we can switch. It won't cause our plutocracy to go down. So let's switch over to fixed vassals obligations. I do feel like the game is bullying me by just withholding these events. I know they happen because I did this, because I tried this before I started recording these videos, so it's definitely possible. I know for a fact there are events that just give you free plutocracy, and they're specific to Byzantium. They have you choose between gaining plutocracy or gaining autocracy. There, that's that land all released. Now we're going to go a bit crazy. We of course want to restore our army as much as possible, but we need more manpower. We need a lot more manpower. Since we built up a pretty big bank, we're just going to start building as many armories as we can. Problem is, we're running out of places to build armories because we're running out of land that is accepted. In fact, that's all of it actually. Should we accept someone? It'll put us over our cultural capacity limit if we did, but I don't really see an alternative. Maybe I'm being a tad too crazy. We're going to embrace pike and shot soon. In fact, we could embrace it right now. And once we do, we can get down and grab training yards, which are our real manpower gainer. We'll also be able to get down and grab the foreign culture law, which will give us some extra cultural capacity. See, I think I'm being a little too aggressive. Let's wait a little to finish our current research, and then we'll embrace pike and shot, and then we'll rush down for the training yards, and then we'll spam them everywhere. All right, pike and or shot. As mentioned, we'll just go straight for those training yards, or training fields, I should say. Once we grab those, I guess we'll grab halberdiers as well. Then we'll go down and get the matchlock riflemen, as well as the regular riflemen. We could also get reformed cataphracts. I'm not sure if we're going to have the manpower to sustain them, and the money as well though, right? Cataphracts are expensive, but I do feel like we need some heavy cavalry. I guess let's research it, and then I can always just not make any. Then we're going to go around the other side, head down. We want that extra parliament seat and that extra reform. And of course, foreign culture laws, as I mentioned. I'd prefer the extra reform first though, and then the governor. And there we go, isn't that nice? The nobles are deciding to donate 6,000 gold to the treasury. Thanks, bro. I always knew I could rely on the nobles. Everyone always says, oh, nobles, you know. They're not trustworthy, they don't support the state, they're only out for themselves. Well, you know. I've seen otherwise. Nobles always tend to have my back. Maybe if the nobles don't have your back, maybe that's a you problem. Maybe you should be thinking, why don't the nobles have my back? What have you done that make the nobles not like you? Because they like me, and I don't really do anything specific to make them like me. They just do. Maybe we should build the Hippodrome. I've actually been holding off building it because, you know, we're going to move our capital to Rome in the future, which means the 2,000 or so gold it takes to build it would be wasted. But since the nobles just gave me a big check and said, build whatever you like, bro, maybe we should build it. Yeah, let's build it. It's only like 1,600 gold. Will give us a bit of crown power and estate satisfaction equilibrium, which are both nice. Another parliament, come on this time. Nope, we didn't get what we wanted. This is the problem with relying on what is essentially random chance. I just looked up the parliament, and it seems we need a member of our cabinet to be in the burghers, but we do have burghers in our cabinet. So that's not the reason why it hasn't triggered. We've just got really unlucky, I guess. I guess we'll just go for this naval infrastructure one. The game also hasn't given us any of the parliamentary agendas that might let us push up plutocracy either. How sad. I suppose, because we're in this age now though, we're going to get rights to the burghers. We could strengthen them for a little bit extra push towards plutocracy. But that 0.05 isn't going to be enough, right? And look at all these laws that don't give plutocracy. There's loads that give autocrat, but none that give plutocrat. We really are just going to be waiting on an event. It's a real pity. Let's think about it right now. Plutocrat score is at 63 ordinarily. If we got the 0.05 from strengthening the burghers, that'll take us to 68. Plus the 10 from that reform we threw out, that'll be 78. We would then need 20. Could we get 20 from anywhere? Let me just check on my laws. Nope, we've actually passed every single law that in some way increases plutocracy. We've also given out every privilege. There's this privilege here that increases autocracy that we could take away that, but that would only give us the 10. We would need another 10. If only plutocratic monarch gave us plutocracy, but no. And there's none in these ones that we don't have access to that give us plutocracy. We really are just reliant on an event. I wonder if this is intentional, that it's not really possible to push your plutocracy high enough without a random event. Don't tell me to add sonority, bro. We can't access that. It's only for republics. I think we'll leave it here for today, though. I really do apologise that we haven't been able to become a republic. I really thought it'd be a lot easier and a lot faster. We just haven't been getting those random events, all those parliamentary issues that let us increase it. I think for our next parliament, I'll try and stack my cabinet with burghers, though I don't think having more burghers increases the chance of it happening. Next time, we're probably just going to expand our army a lot larger, and then we're going to defeat the Papal State and take that one location we need to revive Hellenicism. But either way, thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Though I didn't do too well in the wars, I suppose we did at least win. But thank you again for watching, and see you next time.